Hello, my name is Amy Sturkey. I'm a pediatric physical therapist, and I'm talking here with Joshua Broughton. And Joshua Broughton is someone I saw as a physical therapist for
15 years.
15 years, as recent as 9 years ago.
9 years ago, 2013.
And you're how old now? I'm ready.
28.
I didn't hear that. Don't say it again. Josh walks in the house. He has cerebral palsy, and he walks inside the house without support. But when he goes out, he uses forearm crutches. So I'd say he's a level 2, level 3, probably more a level 3 cerebral palsy. And tell me how now with your cerebral palsy, what do you do to address your cerebral palsy to make sure you don't get stiffer?
Well, I try to take walks every day. Not quite every day, but I try to take walks. And we did build a swimming pool deck so I could get in and out of the swimming pool fast. I haven't used it yet, but I do plan to. When I take walks, I make sure to do it in the coolest part of the day during this time of year.
Yes.
So it's the most bearable.
I remember you used to swim a lot. So you're better with cooler temperatures, hot temperatures, and you're in the South, so
Yep.
the South of the United States. So temperature is a problem here in the summers.
Yeah. Not exactly a problem. I know how to deal with it. I just need to stay out of the extreme heat.
Right. So you are relatively independent. You're able to shower and dress by yourself.
Yep,
You wear orthotics, though, right?
I do.
Okay. And you wear those just when you're outside of the house, or you wear them most days? When do you wear your orthotics?
I wear them outside the house, and sometimes I wear them inside the house.
Okay.
Try to alternate at least once or twice a week without them if we're not really going anywhere.
Okay.
That's,
and you need help putting those on, but otherwise you're independent with your dressing.
yes.
Okay. And tell me, over time, they say that cerebral palsy is not a progressive disorder, meaning that you had a damage that was done to your brain when you had the bleed in your brain, and that doesn't get worse over time. But as people get older, they tend to get a little bit heavier. They tend not to move as much. So a lot of times people experience more difficulty walking. Or moving. Tell me what's your experience.
As a whole, it feels about the same, but I do feel that I need to stay on top of it. Sometimes I have gotten a little stiffer, but I need to stay on top of it and continue on with my walks and swimming and just keep moving. That's the trick.
I know with the plays that I've seen you in, I've seen you dance and sing and move. So, for you to be able to do your work in the plays that you want to do, it's important for you to still be able to move fairly easily.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what about pain? Do you have any pain now?
No, I don't. I do not experience any daily pain. Yeah, I'm pretty good when it comes to pain.
I do think that because you use the forearm crutches, that probably limit if you walked everywhere you went without your forearm crutches, I think that would be harder on your joints. And the fact that you use your forearm crutches has probably saved your joints so that you haven't had pain. So being proactive, like using the support that you need to be able to walk, has probably been a really good call.
Oh. I never thought of it that way, but thank you.
Can you tell me, were there particular people over time that helped you, that this would be time to give a shout out to, that you remember made a difference in your life?
Well, my parents and teachers, first of all.
Right.
And they've helped me all the way through. And all the people, and I've got to say, not only that, I've been acting at the JCC for 9 years, and everyone there has been so good. And I think my parts have been given have been bigger, and they try to make it as enjoyable and easy for me as possible. So I thank them too.
Is there a particular person there that has really rallied around you, or just have they changed over time and they've just been consistent about helping you there?
It's been consistent, although Susan and Kayla, the the directors of the program have been with me since day one. So
Really?
yep.
I just, I think that when I think about those plays, that they probably weren't written thinking of someone with cerebral palsy in the parts. So I think it's phenomenal that they found ways that they can include you and give you parts.
Yep.
Because I think you said yourself that you didn't know somebody with cerebral palsy early on, and you didn't know somebody until you came to physical therapy. And I think having a presence out in the community is really important for people seeing you being active. And so when they go to a play, I think that's really educational for them as well as giving you an experience that you love.
Yeah.
So in many ways, you're like an ambassador for people with cerebral palsy out there every time you're in a play. Because I think it's really important that people see out in the community people with cerebral palsy, people who are differently abled. Because I think it's really easy to forget that a place needs to be handicap accessible. It needs to be easy for you to get in. It needs to be easy for you to walk around, for you to stand up and sit down, that not everybody gets around easily. So I think your presence out there helps remind people that really cool people are out there who need help.
Yeah. Yep, that's true. And we need to give them, we can give them all the help we can get.
Tell me, what has been when was the time in your life that was the most challenging for you?
Whew. Well, the surgeries obviously were...
Which surgery was the hardest one?
The back one.
The back.
Going in so many times. I like to say I recovered quickly, but those 3 times, having to do it twice over afterwards was not fun.
So when you were walking with your forearm crutches, you started rounding your upper back as you walked, pushing on your forearm crutches. So your upper back started getting really rounded. So do you remember how rounded your upper back was?
104 degrees.
104 degrees. So it was more than 90 degrees. It was curving way down. So they did surgery to address that rounding in your upper back to help straighten it out. And so they did one surgery.
Yep.
And then what happened?
Well, apparently the doctors had started putting hooks in instead of screws at the top. But those came undone, so they put in screws instead. And the 3rd time, turns out the rods they put in were too short because they started coming through my skin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So now now you have rods. How far do the rods go in your back?
From what I heard, they go from my neck to not quite to the very base. He left a little leeway at the very bottom.
And so that affects the ease of your movement too, then, I would imagine.
Not by much. The only thing that I'd have to put a little bit more effort is touching my toes.
That makes sense. Okay, so the surgeries were the most challenging time. What's the best part of having cerebral palsy?
Yes, there are a couple times where I get to sit in front in things I like doing. I wouldn't deny that's a nice thing, like some plays we got to sit in the front of, and that's definitely an advantage.
So being able to have preferred seating
Yep.
would be the best part.
Yeah.
I would say for me, getting to meet people like you have been some of the highlights of my life. And you were always someone who worked so hard in therapy and so easy. You were easy to work with. And not that there weren't frustrating moments, but they were laughable frustrating. I mean, you just made it fun.
Thank you.
I think your personality is just one that makes life so much easier for people working with you. And I just want to take this moment to say thank you for all those wonderful memories.
And thank you.
I hope this is helpful for y'all. Thank you for sharing your time. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. If you liked this video and would like to be notified by email when the next video comes out, click the subscribe button here
and click the golden bell icon and ensure notifications are enabled on your account.